Urgent, important update on Damar Hamlin. He was awake last night and was able to follow commands via pen and paper. Dr. Timothy Pritz of the General Surgery Division said that Damar asked who won the game, and the doctors replied, "You won. You won the game of life." Again, Damar Hamlin asked via pen and paper who won the game, and the doctor replied, "You won the game of life." So incredibly vital that we've now seen progress. He has movement in his hands. He has movement in his feet. And they said that his neural activity is intact. Urgent update, spread this amazing news, and continue to keep Damar Hamlin in your thoughts and in your prayers, because they are working, y'all.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining me here on Conversations with Taz. Think About It Thursday. Regarding Damar Hamlin, there is a more extensive update. It is tagged in the description of this video, so whether you want to pause right here and go look at it or look at it afterwards, whatever, make sure you go check that out because it is a full breakdown from the doctors that are in charge of his care. But yes, amazing, amazing, amazing news. So we are on the right track and we are on the road to recovery. So yes, this is what we love to hear. This is what we love to hear. There is so much. There is so much. Hold on. We do have, hold on, an article regarding this. Well, I thought we did. Let me pull it up here. Here we go. I don't know why it's not showing up on my iPad, but coming from CBSNews.com, Damar Hamlin showing remarkable improvement, Buffalo Bills say. Damar Hamlin is making steady progress and appears to be neurologically intact while still hospitalized in critical condition following a cardiac arrest that caused him to collapse on the field during a game in Cincinnati on Monday night, the Buffalo Bills said in a statement Thursday morning. Hamlin, who is 24, is a safety in his second season with the team. Per the physicians caring for Damar Hamlin at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, Damar shown remarkable improvement over the past 24 hours, the Bills said. While still critically ill, he has demonstrated that he appears to be neurologically intact. His lungs continue to heal, and he is making steady progress. The team is grateful for the love and support that it has received since Hamlin's televised collapse and hospital transfer earlier this week ushered in an outpouring of concerned messages. Now, do keep in mind a similar occurrence happened to a young man who was on a high school lacrosse team a few years ago, and he was able to make a full recovery and play the sport again as well as basketball. I do not know if that will be the case with Mr. Hamlin, but, fingers crossed. And even if he cannot play football ever again in life, this young man is a philanthropist at heart. So maybe that will be his second act in life. We don't know. But we do know we will be here to support that. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, there is okay. Another update that we have, like I said, there was a more extensive update. The Idaho murder suspect is now completely transferred, well, extradited from Pennsylvania to Idaho. All the details from his very brief court appearance today. Once again, the information is linked in the description of this video, but coming from apnews.com, police Idaho slaying suspects DNA found at crime scene. Idaho police pieced together DNA evidence, cell phone data, and surveillance video to charge a criminology graduate student with the November slaying of 4 University of Idaho undergraduates, according to an affidavit unsealed Thursday. The affidavit says DNA matching that of 28-year-old Brian Koberger was found on a knife sheath recovered at the crime scene just a short drive across the state border, where he is a criminal justice doctoral student at Washington State University. The affidavit also says that his cell phone belonging to Koberger was near the victim's home on a dozen occasions prior to the killings, and that while it was apparently turned off around the time of the early morning attack, cell tower data placed his phone in that region of Idaho shortly afterwards. Koberger made his first appearance Thursday in an Idaho court, where he faces 4 charges of first-degree murder. He did not enter a plea and was ordered held without bail. And I think this new evidence coming out, excuse me, is why he was so quick to waive extradition and get back to Idaho, because Idaho law states you got to be in custody there to know what evidence they have on you. You cannot be in another state and they just tell you. But his current attorney is already hitting the ground running. It will be a curious tale to see how she tries to get him out of this. The next hearing is set for January 12th, so we will see what happens there with that. Yes, regarding Damar Hamlin, it is rare, but it is not as rare as people think. And the fact that he is recovering is the best case scenario. I am 45. I make no qualms about it. I am old enough. If you lived in the Cincinnati, Ohio area, I remember Gabe Robinson died of cardiac arrest from an unknown ailment that he had. He actually died in my dad's arms. He was my brother's best friend and died on the court. There have been college athletes that you just don't know. You don't know what to plausibly test for as a parent or as an individual. And let's not forget all of the ailments that come up every year that end up being named after us because they've never seen it before. So yeah. From what's come out so far, it looks like he cased this place and then broke in. That's what it looks like so far. But as always, I'll follow the case and give you updates as I get them. Now, hold on. Now, we all know that tomorrow marks the anniversary of the January 6th insurrection, Donald Trump's self-coup. After that occurred, Nancy Pelosi did have metal detectors put in place at the Capitol because, security measures. Today, this happened on the eve of the anniversary of the January 6th insurrection, and when Matt Gaetz decided to nominate Donald Trump for Speaker of the House, and Donald Trump decided to post pictures of himself as Speaker of the House on Truth Social. We'll get more into that later. But y'all take a look at this. And doesn't this video seem eerily familiar to things we saw before the originating insurrection?
When I arrived in Congress 2 years ago, Nancy Pelosi put this hunk of garbage outside of the House chambers for members of Congress to go through. Today, they are being removed, and we are turning Pelosi's house back into the people's house.
When I joined Congress 2 years ago, Nancy Pelosi put up this hunk of garbage that detects if somebody has a gun that they want to use to kill members of Congress. I mean, why would anybody need to put that up in the Capitol building in January of 2021? Boggles the mind. Anyway, we're returning this to the people's house by removing a pretty important safety precaution. Am I too close to the camera?
I'm not going to lie, my anxiety is very high when it comes to tomorrow. It's very high. But let's hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And like I said, Trump and the Speaker of the House, you know what? Just take a look for yourself. Just take a look for yourself. You know how this goes. I'll see you in 2 and 2.
So this is a real post of Trump's that he just put on Truth Social. I guess they're going for the speaker thing tomorrow on January 6th, huh? I guess that's what all this was about. A fucking clown show.
Gates. Trump.
A year ago today, I had a prediction. I told my husband, my coworkers, anybody that would listen to me, that on January 6th, there was going to be an insurrection. There was going to be an attack on the Capitol. And everyone laughed at me until they saw it play out in real time on their TV. For tomorrow, I have a prediction. This one might not come true, but on the anniversary of January 6th, I see the Republican caucus voting for Donald J. Trump as their Republican speaker. Because they would think that's so poetic. I guess we'll see if I'm right.
Now, will Trump have the votes to win? No. Will they do this to muddy the waters and shoot themselves in the foot? Absolutely. Is there a possibility that there will be a crowd outside waiting to disrupt the proceedings? Plausibly. If you've watched and heard the campaign-esque anti-Biden plethora of lies that we're used to when the GOP is on the campaign trail, that is what these nomination speeches have been from the GOP. They have been ripping each other apart. They've been playing dirty on social media. I would put nothing past them. But if you notice, each time that Trump was nominated, there was only one vote from the person nominating him. But we know Lauren Boebert is a Trump sycophant. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a Trump sycophant. And someone very, very close to Trump had already laid out this plan a while ago, very publicly on social media, in the media. And let us not forget, because if I'm not going to give you anything else, I am going to give you historical context. Their favorite Nazi. This is how he rose to power. He was a mediocre white man that couldn't make it as an artist. He put forth an agenda claiming that the true Aryan race was the superior race and the true race of the people, and they were blonde-haired and blue-eyed, even though he was not blonde-haired nor blue-eyed. He had convinced some people to put him into the cabinet, and it was there he infiltrated, and he begot the Holocaust. I keep reminding you all of the people who like to read the speeches of Hitler. I keep reminding you all, the people who their hero is Hitler. They don't need a whole country. They don't need the majority. They just need enough for the majority to become scared and become complacent. The majority has never been despicable, but the majority has been complacent because the majority wants to get along to get along. The majority wants to get along to have friends, to have a job, to gain wealth. So they'll go along with anything, even though they don't agree with it. James Adams was not a slave owner, wasn't an abolitionist either. But he didn't speak out and say, oh, this is wrong, we shouldn't do it. He got along to get along, and it got him a presidency. His son, John Quincy Adams, wasn't a slave owner, but he got along so he could get along. You catch what I'm putting down. See, it's not the racist, bigotrous, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, sexist, capitalist, classist, minority that scares me. It is the majority that wants to keep their status quo. It is the majority that wants to look good to whoever is in power. Because even through the Trump administration, how many people did you know that you thought were fervently working to be anti-racist and work to remove themselves from the indoctrination of racism? Be quiet. Not say anything. You know what? Let's take it back to even more recently. How many videos, how many posts did you see this past holiday season of people still, from the majority, of, oh, this is wrong, we should eliminate racism, still breaking bread with their racist counterparts? The whole Balenciaga situation, how many sat quietly? Because they were like, are they really going to be canceled? Because if they're not, I can just wait a few months and I can still make some coins off of them. See, it's not the minority that scares me. It's the majority. They may not believe in it. They may not actively participate in denigrating people, but they'll continue to line the pockets of those who do. They'll continue to be silently complicit towards those that do. But I will say, with all this infighting, Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene, who really thinks that she is the female embodiment of Trump, excuse me, and seems to think that she has way more power than what she does. Oh, honey, she is getting humbled left and right. And the head, the founder of the Stop the Steal, just take a listen for yourself what he had to say about old MTG.
I will not suffer this harlot. I will not be taught vows and loyalty, commitment from a whore. You have got me mistaken for some damn fool, and a fool, Ollie Alexander, has never been called. In the coming days, I'm going to reveal that Marjorie Taylor Greene, in my summation and the summation of lawyers, committed a crime. That crime is going to be handed to the state of Georgia. And the state of Georgia will decide whether they adjudicate that crime or not. The House House Ethics Committee and House Rules must expel Marjorie Taylor Greene when this evidence comes to light. Ho, go home. I am done with you. You are lukewarm. I am spitting you out of my mouth. You played me and no more.
There is no honor amongst thieves. There is no honor amongst thieves. See, you can't get yourself involved with those that have zero ethics and think that you can outsmart them. But now you know why Marjorie Taylor Greene is on the side of getting rid of the ethics committee, wanting to defund the FBI, wanting to fire Merrick Garland. Still think they're the party of the people? Because he called her a whole ass whore. A whole ass whore. He didn't even call her a floozy. He said a whore. But that's not the only reality check that the GOP is getting. You know how the GOP loves to back gerrymandering, and y'all gonna get a kick out of this. Y'all gonna get a kick out. Their own antics have come home to roost. Now they're dealing with, excuse me, what they put everybody else through. Ooh, child. Ooh, Chile. Take a look.
You are about to witness the minute that a Republican realizes what it's like for Democrats having to constantly deal with gerrymandering and winning the popular vote, but still having to be led by Republicans. Watch.
You have troops that question decisions of leaders without good basis for doing so. You have to either articulate that basis or get out of the way. So think about this. We need U.S. grant here, unconditional surrender. You have 20 people demanding that 201 surrender to them unconditionally.
Oh my God!
How does it feel, bitch? How does it feel? Now you get a small little taste of what it was to be Hillary Clinton on the night where she conceded to Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton, who won the popular vote. Al Gore, who won the popular vote. Now the majority of Americans think that a woman should have a right to health care. How does it feel? I know I feel fucking fabulous now that you get to feel it.
See, this is why I always tell people, be careful how you live your life and be careful what you do to people, because eventually you will be put in their shoes. I kid you not. I kid you not. You will be put in somebody's shoes. When you want to tell somebody how they shouldn't feel this way or they shouldn't react a certain way, you will be put in their shoes and made to shut up about how they reacted. And the GOP, whoo, hope them boots are made for walking. But baby, take a look at what's going on behind the scenes with all this speaker voting. Because this rabbit hole is juicy. It is. Oh, it's not seasoned well, but it is juicy. It is.
So I know, like everyone else, we've been enjoying the entertainment that is the House of Republicans, but we need to talk because what's happening behind the scenes should concern all of us. So the Christian Right Council for National Policy's Conservative Action Project calls for new House leadership. They don't want Kevin McCarthy. Ken Blackwell, Cleta Mitchell, and Jenny Thomas, among those, signed this letter. It's worth noting that in May of 2021, Blackwell facilitated an action session at CMP's 40th anniversary meeting on how to combat the national voting rights effort, featuring none other than U.S. Representative Byron Donalds of Florida, who voted against certifying the 2020 presidential electoral college results, and Mitchell. This is a tweet from just this past midterms. Why would Comcast, mere days before the election, even bother tossing $5,000 at Florida Congressman Byron Donalds, a 2020 election denier who headlined a fundraiser with Roger Stone last year? Oh, maybe that's why. It appears Roger Stone has officially endorsed Byron Donalds for Speaker of the House. It's time for a fresh start and new leadership. Hashtag Florida Man. And this isn't a new relationship. Roger Stone has been supporting Byron Donalds since 2020. It appears that this stall tactic is just that, and they have a more nefarious agenda in mind. They are in the final stages of a MAGA takeover. Roger Stone said on Gab that he wants to remove McCarthy because he sees McCarthy as an impediment to his plan to make Trump Speaker of the House of ours get the majority greater than the midterms. Also on Gab, Roger Stone says he's very happy to have Matt Gaetz, who he recently accused of trading for political endorsements, embrace his scheme to reinstall Trump in the White House before 2024. Yeah. Feel free to pause to read, but Roger Stone literally laid out what he wants to do for his next coup attempt. And it appears that the former guy is on board. Look at this. He posted this yesterday morning, basically demanding that the Republican House members vote for Kevin. Then he posted this, that his story and statement going out that he endorsed Byron for Speaker was fake and fraudulent. However, shortly after, he posted this. Very good things are happening behind the scenes for the Republican Party. Intense but smart negotiations between great and patriotic people are ongoing. They all love our country and want something to go forward ASAP. This event will end up making the Republican Party stronger and more united than ever before. Our nation is at stake. Stay tuned and make America great again. Now watch this.
Support Steve Scalise. I don't think that I could support any current leadership, so that isn't a name that I'm entertaining. But I'm sure that you'll see several names. Not for me. Maybe it's someone who is not in Congress. Maybe it's someone like Kevin Hern, who is the chairman of the Republican Study Committee. I don't know what these names are, but I'm sure that you're going to see a lot of names beginning to emerge because we're showing that we are willing to work to unify the Republican Party and get the right person.
Yeah, this is looking more and more like Insurrection 2.0. And if you don't believe me, look at this last tweet. Yeah, who authorized that?
Now, not too long ago, Jenny Thomas said that she regretted the text messages that she sent on January 6th. Funny. Seems like a preemptive, please don't come at me for any further or future crimes that I commit. Now, Ken Blackwell, I'm quite familiar with him because when I was in high school for 1 year, his wife, Rosa, was my high school principal, if you can call it that, because I don't ever, there was just a handful of times, one time in particular, I'm not going to talk about that online, I remember her even being in the building. Like everything was about building a resume for him to climb the ladders within the Republican Party. They are Black and census information only, it appears. Roger Stone is, there's no denying he is the puppeteer to Trump's puppet. There are people that want power, but no repercussions for however that power goes. If it goes awry, they can sit back and believe that they will be left unscathed. Because there keeps being a whole lot of correspondence, a whole lot of letters, a whole lot of you House GOPs, you Senate GOPs better do this, that, and the other. They don't want to help people of the United States. They just want power. And they have no problem eating each other alive in order to assert power. No legislation is moving forward. No one has been sworn into the House of Representatives. They do not care. It's a power move. And just like any good racist, any good problematic person, they want someone else to come through and fix it for them. Oh, come on over. Well, can you just leave the floor for a little bit? So we need fewer votes to get him through, or can you come over and vote for? No, you all created this chaos within your own party. And To quote a wise old man that I once knew, GOP, this is your baby now. Rock it. Oh, Ken Blackwell, if you're generally outside of the Midwest or Ohio, he's very covert and yeah. But, and for those of y'all that think that it's not about power, it's not about political campaign moves, take a gander.
But then she went on Fox Entertainment and said it again. Representative-elect, not even sworn in, was nominating Kevin McCarthy for like the 5th or 6th vote. Who can keep it straight anymore? And made some crack against the Democrats about them having blankets and popcorn and alcohol. And now she goes on Fox Entertainment and says it again. Have a listen.
Democrats said they didn't have any alcohol. They were offended by that. Do you have anything to say about that statement?
Is anyone honestly surprised about alcohol, popcorn, and blankets? Honestly, listen, anytime that the Democrats have leverage in this chamber when they don't even have the majority, that is a losing game for the American people. And we know that the long line of critics out there, they're saying we're not going to make it, we're not going to make this happen, that the Republicans can't govern. We will prove them wrong.
Well, I wasn't going to mention it, but then she went on Fox.
When has the GOP been able to properly govern? When? Instead of bringing a policy, instead of saying, hey, this is why we need to nominate and vote this candidate in as a leader. No. Once again, the GOP resorts to a faux gotcha attempt and middle school playground antics. I just can't. Well, we got one more thing to talk about regarding politics, and then we're going to get over into some other stuff. But before that, we're going to run this ad. And to all of you all that have placed orders, thank you.
Why are you all looking at me so
Coldly.
Oh, you know
that well. I put all that work in last year just for you to get mad at her?
Well, he's not a woman, but he is black, so that's cool, I guess. I've been here for 30 seconds and they're already complaining about the weather.
The weather changed? I didn't even notice.
Hey, I'm not complaining about the weather. Stoyaki?
I haven't even started yet, and you all are already... Oh, you're not mad at me?
No, you're fine, for now. But that last guy should be brought up on charges.
Whatever it is you say that I did. Except for the things that I did.
Yeah, this is just one big conspiracy.
Did you say conspiracy? Is there a new one? Are the globalists involved?
Well, here we go again. Good, Greg? Still feel like I'm forgetting someone.
Gotta always throw a little humor in there. So like I said, got one more thing to talk about regarding politics. It's been a while since I've talked about Rick Scott over here because he's just a clusterfuck of crazy. But this just watch and pay close attention to what he says.
Well, hey there, y'all. So in today's I Want That 30 Seconds Back news, y'all know who this pop-eyed zombie is, don't you? This is Rick Scott, the Republican senator from Florida. Seen here trying to hold the demons in. After losing his disastrous try at taking away the House Minority Leader spot from Bitch McConnell, Rick Skeletor has decided to spend 7 figures on running a 30-second ad on TV across the entire country. I know what you're thinking. I'm sure that he is asking for unity and he wants the whole country to come together and be as one. No, I'm just kidding. We know that's not what he would say. And I know that y'all are just dying to see this ad. And if I had to see it, you do too.
People told me not to run for Republican leader against Mitch McConnell. They said I wouldn't win. I knew it was going to be hard, but we got to start somewhere. Look, we're on the road to woke socialism, and Republicans are just a speed bump. We can't keep doing the same old thing. It's time for Republicans to be bold, speak the truth, and stop caving in. Help us change our party. Join us at RescueAmerica.com.
Did you catch where he said it's time for the Republicans to start speaking the truth and not hating it? Coupled with the trigger words woke socialism, using 2 pictures of people from the BIPOC community. But what really got me was it's time for the Republicans to start telling the truth and not hating it. So you let them talk long enough, they will tell on themselves and they will eventually tell the truth. And it's funny because they complain about infrastructure within the United States, but it's socialism that pays for that. Now, I know they're trying to get rid of Medicare and Social Security, but I mean, if they hate socialism, how are they backing the police? How are you backing the blue and you hate socialism? Now we saw a snippet to remind us just how problematic Skip Bayless is. But as always, there's that one tap dancing, coontastic committee member in the realm of sports we can always count on to come through and cap for the problematic, especially if they are hueless. Let's take a look.
I'm not about to judge Skip Bayless or anybody else for saying the wrong thing. God knows I have. Yes, you got to be sensitive out there. Mental health matters, life matters, human beings' well-being matters. And when you speak, you have to make sure that you're sensitive to everything that you can be sensitive to in articulating your position. Skip can defend himself. I will tell you that I've spent years disagreeing with Skip Bayless. I disagree with him now, and I'm going to disagree with him into the future. I know who he is. I know what he's about. Do I agree with everything he says or how he says it or the timing with which he uses to say things? No. But the flip side to it is that I know that by and large, his heart is in the right place, and, you know, people make mistakes.
But Skip offered no apology. Skip does not want to take the tweet down. Skip is defending his egregious actions. Once again, Skip has a track record of being disrespectful to Black athletes, especially Black men that happen to be athletes. Think I'm joking? Y'all know better.
This is just straight hate by a guy who's jealous that he's still playing at a high level at 45 when you had to stop at 35.
That's what you
That's
do.
the point.
That's what you do. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better.
Bullshit.
See what you do? You take personal shots.
No, I didn't take you.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal
Put your glasses back on.
Ooh.
Put your glasses back on.
That was
Boy,
real.
you know in another time what was going to follow that fucking phrase. He hit a fucking...
So all of y'all capping for Skip Bayless online tomorrow. He's not racist. This was about, yes, he is. He is racist. You're ignoring the dog whistles that he uses consistently. You ignore the fact that he only consistently talks down to Black men. Because tell me, if cameras and contracts were not involved, in what world, unless he felt like he owned Shannon Sharp, would he tell one of the greatest to ever do it? Put your glasses back on. And his tweets regarding Damar Hamlin, he keeps showing he does not see these men as human beings. White people, every time you excuse away racism, you're showing us how racist you are. You know the dog whistles just as well as we know the dog whistles. Stop playing dumb. Stop trying to gaslight us. Stop, once again, being complacent. Let me go back to what I said earlier. See, it's not the minority that scares me. It is the majority. It is the people that will come out and try to excuse the behavior and go along with it. The people that will petition and call for Skip to keep his job. The people who will make Skip feel like the things that he says and does are okay. But I promise you, if it would have been Tom Brady on that gurney, the sentiment would be a whole lot different. If Skip would have even said what he said. You think if he was sitting across from Boomer Esiason, he would have said the same thing? You think if he was sitting across from Ben Roethlisberger, he would have said the same thing? You think he was sitting across from Tim Tebow? He would have said the same thing? I guess. As always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget, tomorrow we start at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Saturday night we will be getting back into the anime version of Count of Monte Cristo. And as always, each one teach one, each one reach one. Till tomorrow night, y'all.